bubble, toil and trouble. Now there's a lot of discussion on soaking ceramic tiles. I've gotten heat off a few people for the how and why of it. It's been a discussion that's ongoing if you're old and you've been in this industry for a long time, for decades, a long time. And why was this always done? Okay, now there's some things about ceramic tile that are not the same as porcelain. Number one, porcelain generally has a water absorption rate of less than 0.5%. It is not necessary to soak porcelain tile. Every form of ceramic tile is made differently. So here we have a white handmade tile. This one is made in Spain. And this is how you will know if it needs to be soaked or not, is simply you're going to see air release. So you can take one tile, put it in a bucket, and you're going to see little bubbles start to come up. And we're going to take a handmade piece of fire clay right here. We'll put it in the bucket next. So actually we'll take this one out. And we're going to put the piece of fire clay. This is fire clay. This is the Primo ceramic tile, handmade tile. It's one of the nicest handmade tiles in the world. It's beautiful. Hey, watch, we'll drop it in. Again, you're going to see, it's very hard to see because my bucket's really dirty, but you're going to see little pieces, little bubbles coming up right there. You also see that my bucket's kind of dirty, and the only thing that's gone into my bucket is the ceramic tile. Ceramic tile can often have a residue or a bisque on it, on the back of it. That will screw you on install if you don't clean it off. This is one of the reasons why soaking is the easiest way to fix things. Okay, now, so here we have a handful of handmade tiles, Morello tiles. Also a very nice tile. They're handmade, you can see them. They're made in Spain. Spain makes some very beautiful colored tile, very classic tile. So let's drop these in. And you can see, oh, look, you can see little bubbles coming out. What that means is that the tile itself has a moisture absorption rate, like a very high one. So the tile is actually sucking water in. Going back to using classical thinsets and classical products, you were using sand-based St. Mary's mix mortars. Now today things are chemical driven. Almost every thinset you buy is chemically modified. There's very few traditional thinsets like old stuff. All of these thinsets work on hydrogen encapsulation. Now in English, very simple terms, what that means. It means the products which delay the curing and the chemical start of the curing phase in the thinset itself are bound in a molecule that breaks down in water. So inside the technology in ProLite, Laticrete, Ardex, Tech, all of the big name, big brand box thinsets, they use hydrogen encapsulation to slow the cure. Otherwise, as soon as you mixed water in, the thinset would go instantaneously into chemical cure. This is what modified thinset primarily is. It has chemical reagents inside of it which cure the thinset without air. So the thinset is chemically cooking. It is more and more important when using these products that are driven by water to cause the reaction which gives you your bond, to make sure that they are working at optimal conditions. If you put ceramic tile on a wall with chemically modified thinset without soaking it, and it is porous, like it's absorbing the water, it will shock and flash and suck the moisture out of the thinset. That is why it is important to soak ceramic tile. One of the reasons. I mentioned one of the other ones. Again, that is that there is a bisque residue on top of the ceramic tiles that you need to wash off. It's like having a coat of dust on something. You don't tile a dusty floor. Like there's lots of guys in the commercial world where I worked for years who sweep, shoot it. And that floor is basically going to come off. You need to get the dust off there or bind the dust in some sort of primer. HEPA-vac and primer, here gold. But back to what I'm saying. That dust layer will cause the tile to desalinate, come off the wall, or break a bond. No one's advocating wasting time by doing this. What we're talking about is actually in the TCNA handbook. It's in the ANSI standards where it talks about which tiles need to be soaked first, some form of cementanious tiles, and some form of ceramic tiles are what you need to be checking to see what the moisture absorption rates are. It's really easy to check. You can literally take a clean bucket of water, cleaner than the one I demonstrated on, and put a couple tiles in. If you're seeing bubbles come out, that means the tile is very porous. It means it's sucking water up quickly. That means it's a good idea to wet it before you set it. And it's just about making sure that you're putting a product on the wall the way it's supposed to work, and that you're getting a bond. Like the tile's not just going to be held in place by grout. No one is advocating wasting time, and we're making a joke out of this and posting bubbling buckets of water and showcasing it on here. We're not advocating that anybody waste time installing. We're not trying to increase the price of installation. What we're trying to do is to make things and people aware of what proper installation is, because it doesn't cost more money to do it right. It costs more money to cut corners because it falls off walls, it doesn't last. Doing things this way, you might not have a failure if you don't salt the tile. It might last, but doing it this way ensures that it does. And it's always about the best practices. Even the TCNA standards and the ANSI standards are simply the lowest common denominator for excellence. They are the lowest value of acceptable work to achieve excellent results. So it's a good standard. It's about achieving an excellent result, but it's still the minimum standard. You'll never regret doing too good of a job. You'll never regret taking an extra step. You're not wasting your time by doing stuff like this. What you're doing is working in such a way that you are eliminating the chances of failures. You're working future forward. And I'm a big believer in that. Anyway, bless out, everybody. Nice outside here. I've got a bit of snow. It's a treat for me not to be in Toronto. No city buildings, no traffic. Ooh. Anyway, have a good day.